So I want to give you all some more detailed instructions on your informative speech. Now, first of all, this is an informative speech. Sometimes students confuse this with the demonstrative speech. You're not showing us how to do anything, you're informing us on a particular topic. Now, to be completely honest, as I've taught this class over many semesters, for me, this ends up being some of the most boring speeches I watch all semester because students choose topics that only they enjoy. And we've talked about this through the course of this class. You need to choose something that your audience will be interested in. Again, we focused, not me focused orientation when it comes to communication. So I'll give you an example. I really like hiking. I like getting outdoors. I like seeing sights. I mean, I could just do it every single day. However, I realize that there are probably only about 3 other people that I know that I can talk about hiking with because that's how many other people out there that enjoy hiking. Look, I get it. Some people don't want to be outside. Some people don't want to walk all day. So if I were in this class, even though I love hiking and could talk about it all day, I wouldn't choose that as a topic for a speech because I know that would be a tough sell to get my audience interested in it. So again, the first thing you need to do, and it's one of the most important things you need to do, is to think about your audience when choosing a topic and how whatever it is you're going to talk about will apply to them. You can lose significant points on this assignment if you don't do that. Now, one thing that students also miss because they're not paying attention, you will need to have a visual aid. And keep in mind, with a visual aid, it doesn't need to be a decoration. I have a lot of students that just put up a poster behind them, and it's usually an ugly poster that they've tried to draw on poster board. If you're not artistic, don't do a poster. But they typically put a poster behind them and it's just like a wall decoration. They never even refer to it. The other thing is you can use a screencast where you can be there talking and you have a PowerPoint up. That's perfectly fine. But choose the type of program that you use for the screencast very carefully. A lot of times students will use Screencast-O-Matic, and that's a very small window of you speaking in the bottom portion. That's not going to work for this. There's other screencasting software out there that you can use like Screencastify and Loom that actually puts you in a bigger bubble so we can actually see your face. But keep in mind, I'm going to expect to be able to see your face very clearly in these speeches, so be aware of that. Also be aware of your time constraints. 4 to 6 minutes, so make sure that you fall somewhere in there. Now, as you all notice, there are a series of assignments that lead up to this speech. Since there's a lot of things you have to think about, I'm going to want you to have sources, I'm going to want you to have an outline. Those are broken up into a series of assignments that you will do leading up to this speech. You need to make sure that you hit all those assignments to get the points, but also you're incrementally doing your work so that by the time you're ready to actually record the speech, it's in there and you have all the materials necessary and you can just give the speech. Okay, so next I'm going to do a screencast that talks about some specifics of the assignment and also goes through the rubric, so make sure you pay attention for that. Okay, everyone, let's dig a little bit deeper into what you need to do for your informative speech. So, the first thing you need to do is go past these assignments down to wherever you see the informative speech instructions. Okay, because this will give you the overall picture of what's going to be expected of you. So first of all, click here. We can look at in Google Viewer. So you're going to have to select research and deliver a topic of interest. It's going to be informative. Now keep in mind, it's not demonstrative. You've already done the demonstrative speech. This is going to be strictly informing your audience. It needs to be between 4 and 6 minutes. You're going to have a visual aid. You're going to have an outline with your citations. And you're also going to need to have 3 different sources. So keep in mind overall, that's what you're going to have to do. Now let's look at the rubric, because this is going to give you even a clearer picture of what I'm going to be doing. So first of all, with your introduction and the why should I care factor, this is very important to your overall speech. You need to choose a topic that your audience is interested in. We've talked about this before in the class about having a we orientation instead of a me orientation for communication. So if you pick a topic that you like, that doesn't necessarily mean that your audience is going to like it, and you're going to be graded on your topic selection and making sure that you do something or say something to make your audience care. You need to have a clear conclusion. Your citations and actually saying where you got your information from, that's going to be a part of your grade. Obviously, the time limit, eye contact, a lot of this is items that you've been graded on every other speech. And then also your visual aids. Keep in mind, if you don't have a visual aid, that's 10 points right off the top. Same as if you don't say anything to get audience interest. I mean, basically you can put those two together and that's 20 points off the top. So make sure that you look at the rubric and are really clear on what is expected of you for the speech. Make sure that you watch all the videos that I put in here as we go through the next few weeks, so you are crystal clear on making sure you get all the supplemental speeches that lead up to the final speech and then do everything correctly for your final speech.